And I
Yeah.
will start now.
Cool.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Brian. Hey, Brian. How you doing? Hey.
Oh my God. All right, let me redo that. It's been a very long day. Hey guys, this is Brian from NintendoEverything.com, and I know my name properly because I just called myself saying, "Hey Brian," but we redid it. It's fine. And I'm joined by Dan.
Hey, Brian.
This is just a chat, and we are here to talk about some of the more important pieces of news that came in over the past week. And this is kind of a new approach that we're doing because usually we just do just the chats when there's like a big Nintendo event or something like that. But I thought it might be nice to kind of recap the news and talk about some of the more notable things that came in. And if you guys like this chat and you want to see more of these weekly things, let us know in the comments, and maybe we'll do it again next week and keep on doing it after that.
I won't be on every week. Don't worry.
No, we like having you.
Oh well. Aw.
Alright, but I guess we'll get started, and the first bit of news I wanted to touch on was the eShop news that came in on, I think it was Wednesday, and there was a ton of news about the eShop.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, Nintendo put out a press release, and that went hand in hand with a showcase they were doing at the Game Developers Conference, and they announced a whole bunch of titles for both the Wii U and 3DS eShops.
Yes, they did. And it was kind of a surprising list. Well, it had at least some surprises in there. Let me put it that way.
Yep, from Nintendo, they're bringing over Box Boy. That was from HAL Laboratory.
Yeah, which is funny because we talked about it on the last time I was on.
Yeah, and I really liked that game when they showed it on the Nintendo Direct for
I
Japan. And
I reviewed it for Nintendo World Report. I gave it a 9 out of 10, so...
yeah, you liked it, and I liked what I saw of it, so I was very happy that they announced that it's coming over.
Yeah, it's really weird because the 3DS is such at a weird point in time where you occasionally have titles, but not as much as like 2013. But that game was one of the first games that I say from the 3DS is just fine. There's still stuff coming out for it, so
Yep.
it's good that that game is coming so quick after Japan, because Japan got it in January and North America is getting it in April, I think, which is not a very long wait at all.
You sure it's April?
I think it's April, yeah.
Because I think they said spring, but maybe it is April.
I can totally check for you, but I think it's totally April.
Well, it's coming soon anyway. I guess that's the important thing. But yeah, aside from that game, we also got new announcements from people who aren't Nintendo. And one of those was Don't Starve Giant Edition, which has been on other platforms, and now it's coming to the Wii U with some Wii U exclusive features, like I believe there's a map on the gamepad and off TV play.
It also includes the DLC.
Right, that too. And there was Never Alone for Wii U, I believe.
That's true, yeah.
So yeah, there were quite a few things. There was also Shantae, director. What was it? It was a DSiWare game, and that's coming to Wii U and 3DS. That was kind of unexpected, I thought.
Yeah, I just looked it up, by the way. It's indeed spring. I thought it was April, but it is spring.
Alright, yeah, that was for Box Boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, WayForward's bringing that DSiWare Shantae game to both Wii U and 3DS, which is interesting, because it came out on Steam, I think, and iOS.
Yeah,
And now
it has come to a ton of platforms, except for like the other consoles. So it's just interesting to me that it's solely coming again to Nintendo platforms. Then again, I'm not sure what they are gonna add to it, because I played like Shantae and the Pirate's Curse, and I really loved it on 3DS. But I honestly felt that it added nothing on Wii U, because basically it was a slightly up-res version of the same game. And I honestly feel that's the same case. So I'm more excited to play this again on 3DS than I'm on Wii U, really.
Well, we don't really know any details about it just yet. I actually tried to reach out to WayForward about it just to see if they could tell me what the differences are, if there are any, but I didn't hear back from them. So if we hear anything, it'll be on the site.
Yeah, I don't think there will be many difference, to be really honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think so either, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? There was Octodad. That's coming to Wii U this summer.
Yeah, I always wanted to play Octodad, and now I have a reason to play that on my Wii U, which is super weird. That game always intrigued me because it's one of those really big games that Sony showed off constantly during their press conferences,
Yeah.
and made a really big push for, which I really admired. But it's really fun to see that coming to other platforms. I know for a fact the developers want to do something with Wii U, perhaps, but I didn't expect it to be just the port of Octodad, which is totally fine. I can totally get that, but yeah, that sounds cool. I'm down for that.
Yeah, same here. And Young Horses, who's the original developer, kind of hinted at it before for Wii U, but wouldn't really confirm anything. We actually asked them about it at one point, and they just kind of let the door open, but now it looks like it's actually happening.
Right, yeah. It seems... Yeah, seems like totally happening, which is a fine thing.
Mm-hmm. So, other than that, Trine Enchanted Edition is now dated for March 12th. I know some readers on the site were looking forward to that one.
I am looking forward to playing Trine again, though I feel that I necessarily don't need it. I played through that game multiple times, but at the same time, I'm kind of like this guy who wants to play all of his stuff on the Wii U now or on 3DS, so I'm totally fine with that to some degree.
Yep. But yeah, that was, I would say, the majority of the announcements in that press release, but throughout the week, we did hear about some other indie games like Four-Sided Fantasy. That's coming from Ludoland and Curve Digital, so it's nice to see that Curve is giving the Wii U a ton of support.
Well, yeah, because I talked to them at some point last week about what they're going to do with the Wii U, and they're basically saying that most of their games are coming to the Wii U this year.
Oh, that's good.
So they're leaving nothing really out of the door. They want to bring most of their stuff out on Wii U, which is a good thing. Because while there's still a lot of stuff coming, I'm not sure how much there will be for the second half of this year. And seeing that support continue, at least from Curve side of things, it's really interesting.
Yep.
But there are some other stuff coming, I know for sure, in the second half. Like we have One Bow, which I really look freaking forward to. That's the game I really, really want. Because playing that with 9 people is insane. Like, having 4 people on Wii remotes, 4 people with classic controllers, and then 8 people on the gamepad sounds nuts.
Yeah, that game looks very interesting.
Yeah. And there was also Star Roll, which I played a bit on Early Access on Steam with 3 other friends. And that is a perfect multiplayer game. Like, absolutely couch multiplayer, that's perfect for that game. So seeing that on a bigger screen, like around a nice big television, actually sounds really exciting to me.
And another game I don't want to forget is Affordable Space Adventures, which is now dated for April 9th.
Oh, I played Affordable Space Adventures during Gamescom. And there is somewhere on my YouTube channel a video in which, what's this guy called again? Nifless.
Nifless, yeah.
That dude was really crazy spinning around with the Wii U gamepad while he was playing. He had a ton of fun just playing around with his own game. And after that, I played that for an hour on my own, and I really, really love what they did with that game. It's one of the best ones out of the bunch. And maybe that is why I was thinking of April, because that is actually coming out in April. Because that is the game I think I'm most excited about. Because not only because it's a good game, but because it uses the gamepad really well. Like all of the buttons and all the switches on that gamepad are mesmerizing. They're wonderful. And there's no other Wii U game like it. And that makes me so excited about that game. So incredibly excited.
It definitely looks very interesting. I've had my eye on it for a long time, and I think last week we started featuring the game on the site under our weekly screenshot feature, so you guys can check out some images that we have from Nap Knock and Nifless, and each week leading up to launch we're going to be posting some new images along with some text describing what's going on in the game.
Right, and another game I'm looking forward to is Swords and Soldiers 2. I played that as well a lot at conventions and stuff, and I know the developers pretty well because I helped testing the first Swords and Soldiers on Wii. And that game is shaping up to be even crazier than the first.
Yeah, that's another promising looking eShop title. for sure.
Yeah, you know what surprised me though? We haven't really talked about 3DS, and honestly, the reason is that there is not much on 3DS in comparison to the Wii U, because the Wii U had a better lineup.
From indies, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff, like Big John Games is working on 2 games again, which is nice. I think Choice Provisions is still bringing a game to 3DS really soon, and the update to Rodea for Rodea Deluxe. But outside of Box Boy, that's the most interesting thing. Well, there is Mutant Mudds and Dementium, but those are a bit known entities, and they have Antipole and Enchante, which, again, have been released before, so the slate is not as long on 3DS, which is slightly disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising a little bit because, the 3DS does have the bigger install base, so it's a tiny bit weird not to see more support for it, but, there's still a lot of great games that you can get right now for it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Ollie Ollie that released this week.
Yeah, that's a very nice game.
I played that now on 3DS, and it plays really well on 3DS. I was surprised. Because I honestly thought that it wouldn't play well on 3DS at all. But it does, and I really like having that on the go with me.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so I think we've covered the indies pretty well, and we may as well move on to the next topic, and it's about something that happened today, which was the Xenoblade Chronicles X battle presentation. Now, did you have a chance to watch that at all?
No, I was out the entire day, so I haven't really watched that. I've seen the tweets by Cheesemeister3K, who does an excellent job of providing all the information of that thing. But I honestly didn't have the time to look through the presentation yet. Which is a shame, because I'm really looking forward to the game. I already have it preloaded on my Japanese Wii U. But no, I didn't have the time to really watch it today.
Alright, well, to be honest, there wasn't a ton that's surprising. If you've played the original Xenoblade Chronicles, then, you're going to be right at home here, because it has a similar battle setup with the arts and auto attacks and things like that.
Right.
But, you could do combos, and there was an overclock gear element that they showed off, and they showed off some of the party members, which was actually maybe one of the more interesting things, because it seems like you can have a ton of different people in your party.
That sounds really cool, yeah.
Or at least in terms of the options. I think you can have 4 at a time, and then there's just more that you can choose from, basically.
That sounds interesting. I know for a fact that the next presentation after this is going to be about the dolls, the robots. So I'm looking more forward to that one, to be really frank with you.
Mm-hmm. And there was one part of the video that actually stuck out to me. It wasn't really a spoiler or anything, but so I can probably mention it here. And it was that the player encountered this huge, I think it was kind of like a monkey-like enemy, and he tried running away. And basically what happened is, as he was getting farther away, this creature just hurled a giant boulder at him, and he died in one shot. It was just really funny. I'm probably describing it poorly, but once you see it in the video, you'll probably laugh a bit.
Okay. I believe you.
Alright, but yeah. So that was it for the presentation. Just a little nugget as well, that Monolith Soft basically created specific animations for that video. So that was kind of neat. They didn't take it from the game. They created it specifically for that video that aired today.
Right, okay. Yeah,
so that was just a neat little thing
I still need to watch it. I'll probably watch it because I have to go to somewhere tomorrow. Probably watch it on my train to there, so.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've talked about my love for the original Xenoblade, and so I'm definitely looking forward to this. It just looks kind of more like the same in a way, but everything is ticking up a notch.
Sounds fun. Yeah, totally.
Alright, so yeah, that's it for Xenoblade Chronicles X. It's coming to Japan later next month, and it looks nice.
That's good.
Alright, let's talk about another Wii U and 3DS and Wii game, actually, which is Rodea the Sky Soldier.
Yeah.
And I thought this was kind of interesting to talk about because we finally have confirmation that the Wii game is going to be included as a first print bonus with the Wii U version in North America and Europe.
Right. That makes me really happy because the original Probe version needs some love because it's literally the only version made by Probe.
Yes. Basically, for those who don't understand, this originally started out as a Wii title, and then it ended up on the 3DS and Wii U as well.
Yeah.
And the Wii title is basically the original vision from the creator.
Yeah, who was Yuki Naka, the guy who was co-responsible for the Sonic franchise, to a certain
that's him.
to a certain point. After he left around 2005, started his own company called Probe. They made Let's Catch and Let's Tap, which Let's Catch is way better than Let's Tap, but they're both really weird games. They made Ivy the Kiwi. And
Ivy the Kiwi was a lot of fun.
Ivy the Kiwi was amazing. And now they're currently working on... Well, they finished Rodea the Sky Soldier literally 2 years ago, I think. Even longer. So they have been sitting on a complete product while they were working on other stuff. I'm not sure what they're currently working on now. Haven't really paid attention to it too much, I'm afraid. But in that time, the publisher, who is Kadokawa in Japan... basically worked on a Wii U and a 3DS game.
So yeah, it's kind of an interesting development cycle when you think about it, because the game was announced years ago, and now it's finally coming out, and it's even coming out overseas, which I don't know how many people expected.
Yeah, I already have the Japanese versions on pre-order. I'm not going to cancel those pre-orders at all, because I still want to play them early and still give my verdict on those, because I have been wanting this game, and I've praising that game on Twitter. You've probably noticed a few times where I said from, where the heck is Rodea the Sky Soldier? Where the frick is that game? And I said that multiple times over the last 3.5 years.
And now we need Cow King of Pirates from Inafune, which has been sitting in some corner of the universe.
You mean Inafune? Yeah.
Inafune, sorry.
Inafune has been a weird guy, especially with Mighty Number 9. So, honestly, that can wait a little bit. I first want to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, I feel like some people are kind of skeptical about how this game is going to turn out, but I don't know. I'm still interested in it myself.
I think the Wii and Wii U versions will be possibly fine. I'm more worried about the 3DS one, to be frank.
Yeah, I could see that. You know, it's a smaller screen, and you don't have the same control options, so...
Yeah, it's probably really weird control options.
It'd be interesting if the Wii version turns out to be the best of the bunch. Because that was the original game.
That would be really fun, actually.
Alright, well, I guess that's enough on that game, but I think we're both looking forward to it, and hopefully it turns out well. Alright, let's close this out with some news about Amiibo, because we can't get enough of those figures.
Yep.
And one interesting rumor came out today about Splatoon possibly getting Amiibo. Basically, it was listed on a South African retailer site, and there's a boy, girl, and a bundle with the actual game listed on that website. Basically, there are 3 different options.
Right.
And we don't actually know if this is true or not yet, but obviously people are getting excited anyway.
South Africa falls under NOE territory. And the weird thing is, I never really heard much rumors from South Africa. And honestly, I forgot for a while that South Africa is part of the NOE lineup. But it is possible that the rumor is legit, but honestly, I would wait for an official word from Nintendo on this one.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely a chance this is false.
Yeah, because there's only one country where I always 100% believe the rumors of, and that's France.
Why is that?
Because, like, the most Nintendo products in the entirety of Europe are sold in France.
Oh, okay.
So it's likely that retailers there get an earlier heads up than the rest of Europe.
Interesting.
And Germany as well, because that's where they're located. But usually, most of the rumors where it becomes interesting sometimes are from France. I never heard really any particular big rumors from South Africa. That's the entire thing. So it would be a weird thing if this is actually legit. Because where did South Africa get that information from to begin with?
Yeah, and even if this is false, you have to wonder why they put up these listings in the first place. Like, what made them... I mean, I guess any game could technically get Amiibo, but you have to wonder what made them think that this game was going to get Amiibo.
Right.
Because there haven't been like a ton of rumors about this happening. But yeah, it's interesting.
We'll see. I wouldn't be against it though. I want to see it, but it might not happen directly. It may still happen after all, but you never know for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Yep.
Maybe it'll happen. Maybe. Alright, a couple of quick more notes on Amiibo, and then we'll sign off. But Nintendo announced on its Twitter account earlier this week that Marth will be returning to stores in late April in North America.
Marth never left here. I can still find them in stores.
Yeah, you're very lucky.
Not really. Nobody buys Marth.
Well, yeah, Marth has been gone here for months now, and the prices for that figure have gone up kind of to a crazy point on eBay, so finally it will be coming down, and more people will be able to get them, and use it in codename Steam.
Oh yeah, that's coming out too pretty soon, yeah.
Next week, I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
That is absolutely accurate.
Alright, I'm not entirely crazy.
You're not crazy.
Alright, and one other note is that Japan is getting another run of Amiibo in May, and that's the Villager, Little Mac, and Captain Falcon.
I was surprised about Little Mac, because I know for a fact that Little Mac used to be not popular there.
I feel like Little Mac has become kind of tough to find here in the States.
Yeah, it's here too. I barely saw Little Mac. Like, usually I found most of the figurines. The ones I don't find are Villager, Refit Trainer, and Little Mac.
That's interesting. And you know, another interesting thing is that we heard some reports from those people some people working at Best Buy that Captain Falcon and Little Mac were spotted in the stores, so those two figures might be coming back in North America as well.
Right.
But yeah, that's all on Amiibo, I think.
Well, there is the gold Mario Amiibo, but
oh well, I don't know how much we could say about that.
I think it's a super silly idea, but I still want one.
I kind of do too. I've gotten into the obsession.
Yeah, the thing is, it's not coming here to Europe, so
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I kind of have to find another way to get one.
I would help you out, but Walmart's been limiting orders to, I think, one now. They've been canceling extra orders, so you can only get one.
Hey, if somebody doesn't want it, contact me. I always want one. I'm too deep in to stop now.
I feel like I'm gonna hit a point soon where I'm not gonna be as interested. Like, I'm definitely gonna get all of the Smash Brothers Amiibo, and I'm probably gonna get the Gold Mario Amiibo and the Toad one, but that might be it for me. Unless they do some Xenoblade stuff.
Yeah, it's interesting how Amiibo will develop, because I never have the feeling they've done something that is super interesting with Amiibo so far.
Yeah, it's kind of like an extra element in games. Nothing too surprising, I guess, but just like little twists.
I guess there's a Amiibo party, but I have some problems with that, so...
Uh-oh.
Which you can read somewhere else. Spoilers.
Alright, well, maybe we can get into that next week if we do this again.
Yeah.
Alright, but yeah, those were some of the more important pieces of news from the past few days, I think.
Right.
And, you know, if you guys have any news that you want us to talk about in the future, you can definitely shoot us an email or leave a comment on either Nintendo Everything or on the YouTube page. But, yeah, I think that's it for today.
Sounds good.
So, yep, Dan, thank you so much for joining me. And, guys, again, let us know if you like these sort of weekly chats, because we may do them again in the future, or maybe we won't.
Yep.
Depending on what you guys say.